and welcome to Senora Tommy's Biblioteca on YouTube. If you haven't already, please subscribe and smack the bell so that you can receive notifications and never miss a video. Today is chapter book recommendation Thursday, and I am very, very excited about today's book. I read another book, but I wasn't as excited about it, and so I hurried up and I read an additional book for you guys so that I could be excited about this week's recommendation. So this week's recommendation is actually called The Forgotten Girl by India Hill Brown. Thank you, Petunia's Place, for giving me an advanced reader copy so that I could check it out. And I found that this one, even though I have the paper copy, this book is also available on the Sora app. I checked it out. If you are my student at Sunset, remember the Sora app is your library until we are back together again. So please check that out. This book is on the Sora app, and it was fabulous. I loved this book. So, The Forgotten Girl, it does look like it is being printed by Scholastic. So I would be very curious to see when we are back together and we can have Scholastic book fairs in the library again, if it's a book that will be on one of the Scholastic fairs. I hope so, because I really, really enjoyed this book. So it is probably geared towards 5th and 6th grade. I would even say you could probably read it in middle school. I'm a grown-up, as you know, and it's all I read is kid chapter books. So I loved this book, and it is called, again, I already told you, but it's called The Forgotten Girl, and this is what it is about. So let me just read the back to you so that you can hear it. It says, on a cold winter night, Iris and her best friend Daniel sneak into the woods to play in the freshly fallen snow. There, Iris makes a perfect snow angel, only to find the crumbling gravestone of a young girl named Avery Moore right beneath her. Ooh, already it's kind of spooky. Okay, so soon strange things start to happen to Iris. She begins having vivid nightmares. She thinks she sees the shadow of a girl lurking in the woods, and she feels the pull of the abandoned grave calling her back into the woods. Obsessed with figuring out what's going on, Iris and Daniel start to research their town. They discover that Avery's grave is actually part of an abandoned black cemetery, dating back to a time when white and black people were kept separate in life and in death. They become determined to restore Avery's grave and have proper respect paid to Avery and the others buried there. But they have summoned a jealous and demanding ghost, one who's not satisfied with their plans, and one who is tired of being overlooked and who wants Iris to be her best friend forever, no matter what the cost. So, this book is like equal parts sort of like mystery and equal parts sort of scary, but like not too scary where you're like gonna have nightmares, but scary enough where you're like, ooh, creepy, right? Which is just the right amount of scare, I think, when you're in 5th and 6th grade. So, I do like some of the history, because you guys know I like history. I do like some of the history parts of the book. It does talk about a time when even in death, which I think is wild, that they would not put black and white people together. So if you were black, you would be buried in a separate cemetery if you passed away. And if you were white, you were put in another place if you passed away. And so what happened was after segregate, or after like the Civil War, what happened was a lot of those black grave cemeteries were abandoned by the person who would take care of them, and then they just became lost. It wasn't even there anymore because nobody was upkeeping the black cemeteries anymore. So a lot of them just kind of went by the wayside because nobody was taking care of them. They would get paved over, and there'd be a parking lot put there, or houses, or whatever. And so it's a very interesting story about the history behind some of that, as well as sort of a spooky goose story. A spooky goose? Did I say goose? Not goose. Spooky ghost story involving Avery, which is this young girl who had died. And so the mystery part comes around about why is she upset? Why is she kind of an angry ghost? And what is it that is drawing Iris, the main character, to Avery? And it is so good. It's so good, guys. I think I may have read this in a day and a half, maybe. It was very, very good. So it is at about 250 pages. Perfect little read. It might take you a few more days than me, but I really wanted to read this one and get it done for book recommendation. Remember, it is available on the Sora app. Please check it out. The book is called The Forgotten Girl by India Hill Brown. You won't be disappointed. See you later.